Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Seeing Sentai. I'm MarzGurl. Today we're taking a look at Taiyou Sentai Sun Vulcan episodes 43 to 49. So, hey, I'm not in front of a green screen right now. This isn't my home, but this is where I live for the time being. So, yeah, things look a little bit different. A lot of things have changed since last time I did one of these videos, and I'm just trying to find a permanent place to live, and, this just is not my home, and most of this stuff is not my stuff. So, that's why stuff looks the way it does, and I'm out here living in Los Angeles and making a whole new life out here. So, thanks for noticing. And let's go ahead and actually talk about the series. We're right here at the end of Sun Vulcan. There's only one episode left, so my next episode of Seeing Sentai is only gonna be about one episode, the final episode of the series, so we're really barreling towards the end, and I'm super impressed with these last few episodes of Sun Vulcan, because now we're, like, finally addressing, like, this overarching plot, because all the way up until this point, like there just hasn't really been one, you know. It's been super formulaic. That's really the way Super Sentai has worked for a really long time, is just being so super formulaic. Like, okay, we've got our team, they're fighting against Black Magma, and Black Magma sends out a monster, and then the monster gets real big, yada yada yada. We all know that. But now, finally, stuff is finally happening, and you know it's finally happening because we're at a fever pitch now, and story's actually happening, and there's all this internal turmoil within Black Magma. It's totally insane. So let me start the way that I would typically start one of these and give you a rundown of the monsters that we ran into for these last 7 episodes. You had monsters like Mechanic Monger, Flying Squirrel Monger, Boxer Monger, Death Trap Monger, Fighter Monger, Mummy Monger, and Lightning Monger. First 2 episodes in going over this week really do not feature a lot of overarching story. You've got Mechanic Monger, who was this robot that basically created this awesome cheating machine, because the hope of Black Magma was that, hey, if we get kids to start cheating a whole bunch and using little computers in their hands to look up all the answers to stuff, then they're gonna become really stupid and they're not gonna be able to think for themselves. And so they had to, like, stop that from being a thing and then destroy these little PDA devices the kids were using to cheat. Think of this as the precursor to an older generation going, oh, damn kids with their cell phones, they're not gonna be smart. And that's really the message it tries to drive home, is especially like in the middle and the end, you've got the adults talking to this kid like, no, you need to be able to think for yourself so that when you get into real life situations, you know, you've got real thought going on, so just cram like everybody else and don't cheat. I mean, yeah, you're not supposed to bring in your cell phone to cheat on a test, obviously, but yeah, I would say that's definitely a precursor to the idea that computers and other technology of the modern age makes people stupid. I don't agree with that, but it's super ham-fisted, kind of funny to look at in retrospect. Episode 44 isn't entirely too important, but it does give some backstory to Vol Eagle. He's got a friend who comes in who was basically in competition for the position of Vol Eagle, but our current Vol Eagle beat him out, and they were together in the Air Force, and so now this new guy comes in and he's like, hey, I want to start getting close to Misa. If I get close to Misa, maybe she'll show me the plans for Sun Vulcan Robo. Turns out he's a spy, he wants to get these plans, and he wants to take them back to the enemy, but then you find out that, he was trying to double-cross the enemy and give them fake plans the whole time. It's interesting, it's honestly not all that important. Really, I want to get to episode 45. See, episode 45 brings in a new reoccurring character named Inazuma Ginga, which loosely translated is Lightning Universe. So Inazuma Ginga shows up from outer space. He apparently has some history with Amazon Killer, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, do they have a romance thing going on. They don't really elaborate upon it, but it feels loosely teased, if you were to ask me. I mean, I'm not the authority on it, I didn't write it, you might see something totally different, but they definitely interacted at some point in the past. But Inazuma Ginga is some kind of feverish warlord who's gone across the galaxy and done like really terrible stuff. He got locked up in some prison somewhere, and he escaped from prison. Now he's here on Earth, and he's trying to talk to Black Magma, and he's trying to like weasel up into Black Magma. And Amazon Killer, she kinda wants to talk to him, but she kinda doesn't trust him also. And from this point on, and throughout the remainder of this series, Inazuma Ginga is relatively important. He's constantly trying to gain Hell Saturn's trust, and to a point he starts to earn Hell Saturn's trust. But Amazon Killer and also Queen Hedrion, they're not so trusting of him. On top of that, they don't like that he just comes on in and he's stealing all their thunder, even though he's lightning, not thunder. Well, he's stealing it regardless, because Amazon Killer, like, she finally starts doing a really good job. She, like, finally does her job. In a previous episode, she's like stopped a rocket from going off, and this rocket would have had a satellite on it that would have more easily allowed Sun Vulcan to find where Black Magma's headquarters were. And Hell Saturn's like, yo, we can't have that. What are you gonna do about it, Amazon Killer? And she's like, well, I'm gonna stop them. Otherwise, you can just like launch me into space for all eternity. And he's like, cool, that sounds good. And she does it. She this episode, she actually friggin' wins, and Sun Vulcan does not. And I think that's really friggin' cool. So she's done a good job, but they're super pissed that even after she does a good job, now Hell Saturn's like, you know who I really like and deserves a promotion? Inazuma Ginga. So Amazon Killer and Queen Hedrion are like, oh hell no. And so they come up with a plan to pitch Hell Saturn against Inazuma Ginga so that they can then overthrow Hell Saturn, and then there's this new line to the throne for Black Magma. Alright, cool. So we got that taken care of. So they start this plan to really make Inazuma Ginga really pissed, really thinking, oh, well, Hell Saturn, he keeps throwing you into these dangerous situations, even though, really, he shouldn't be expecting you to do all these things by yourself. Look, you're getting yourself injured while you're throwing yourself at Sun Vulcan, who, by the way, Sun Vulcan comes up with a brand new ball attack, because their old ball attack doesn't work on Inazuma Ginga, so they gotta build a new one, and each one of them have their own individual colored balls, and then those colored balls join together, and they make one really big spiky ball, and then they kick the ball, and it nearly kills Inazuma Ginga, and he's like dying, and Amazon Killer's like, alright, I'm gonna nurse you back to health, but I'm just telling you, I don't think Hell Saturn's got your best plans in mind. Meanwhile, Queen Hedrion's over here like, oh, I can see your future, and you're gonna get stabbed in the back by Inazuma Ginga. And Hell Saturn's like, that's not gonna happen. And she's like, it's true. And so now Hell Saturn's like, oh, I don't know, is she right? Is she wrong? I don't know anymore. But it doesn't matter anymore, because now Inazuma Ginga's all like pissed and stuff, and he shows up like, you threw me into battle knowing I was gonna get killed, you were trying to get rid of me, and then they kung fu fight, and they do it all over the world. They're like off in the ice caps, and then they're off in the deserts, and they fight and they fight and they fight, and it's a really awesome fight, and it takes up this long period of time, and then finally Hell Saturn dies, and like that's the main villain of this whole series. And now, just a couple episodes away from the end, Hell Saturn's dead, and then they like take a vote on who the new leader is, and they vote that the new leader is going to be Queen Hedrion. Cool. So now she's led 2 separate evil villain organizations 2 seasons in a row. I love this character. I love this actress. I think she's amazing. But she's gotta die too. That's the problem. So let's just jump all the way to episode 49. Queen Hedrion is starting to have nightmares because Hell Saturn, you know, she basically was a traitor, and she committed mutiny to get her position of power. And she's seeing him in her nightmares, and he's just like showing up like this ghost, like this apparition, just kind of hovering around like, you killed me, and now our god is going to make sure that you die, because as it turns out, Hell Saturn's not the big bad evil either. Who's the big bad evil? It's some brain, just some brain that apparently is their god, and Hell Saturn, the ghostly apparition, is like, well, now you've been cursed because you stabbed me in the back, and by the way, we're just gonna throw this in here, Queen Hedrion, you had a mechanical heart this whole time. Oh, that's a thing that's like news to me, but okay, she's got this mechanical heart, and he's like, our god, yeah, he's cursed you, and your heart is rusting, and you're gonna die. And now, Queen Hedrion is like constantly panicking that somebody's trying to kill her, right? And her heart is slowly slowing down, her heart rate is slowing, and she's dying. She's dying, and Amazon Killer's like, well, hurry up, let's get the queen in for heart replacement surgery. And Queen Hedrion's just like, no, you're all trying to kill me, you're not trying to save me, you're gonna kill me, and then you're gonna take the throne from me. Well, I'm not gonna let that happen, this throne is mine. And so she just does all that she can in order to put curses on whoever she needs to. She uses her very last black magic, all her remaining strength before she dies, to summon Misa, who's basically part of Sun Vulcan, but not like the transforming team. You know, she's the daughter of the captain, and I totally believe this entire season she should have been an additional member of Sun Vulcan, and they just never gave her a costume. They did give her that costume one time, but it wasn't a Sun Vulcan costume. It was, you know, that other thing that she did when she was a fencer. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So she gets black magic kidnapped, and now she's off in Black Magma territory, and Queen Hedrion's like, I'm gonna stab her, and I'm gonna sacrifice her, and then the god of Black Magma is gonna love me, and he's not gonna kill me. But she doesn't get all the way down to the stabbing part before she basically has a heart attack and dies. So sad. She got all the way up into the next to the last episode, my favorite character, and she's dead. Now, I don't think I'm gonna see her again until Jew Ranger. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers first season, you know. So sad. I love her. She's so amazing. Fare thee well. So now, next in line to the throne is Amazon Killer, and Amazon Killer is like, oh, I don't know if I've got what it takes to handle the throne, but I guess I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try my hardest. But meanwhile, in all of this, sure enough, Inazuma Ginga is trying to undermine them, and like, all of Black Magma, like, I don't even think Sun Vulcan needs to do anything. Like, realize almost this entire episode of Seeing Sentai, I'm sitting here talking about Black Magma. I'm not talking about Sun Vulcan, which really I think is friggin' awesome. I love that we're talking this much about the evil villain organization, okay? But it's kind of also sad that Sun Vulcan's not going to have to do anything to win the day, quite frankly. They're just eating themselves from the inside out. They're not going to have to, they're just going to kill themselves. They're going to mutiny themselves, and then who's going to be left? So Inazuma Ginga is like, well, I'm going to take over you guys, and then I'm going to take over the world. So then you think, oh, the main bad guy is now Inazuma Ginga, except no, because then the Black Sun God, who's the god of Black Magma, then he shoots lightning out of the wall, and now we're turning Inazuma Ginga into Lightning Monger, and now he's just like this brainless monster, and he's defeated by Sun Vulcan easily. So now Amazon Killer is the queen of Black Magma, and there's still this overarching enemy in the god, in the brain, in the wall, and there's still like the ghost of Hell Saturn who's like, well, hey, I'm dead, but guess what? I still work under the authority of our god, and they've still got Misa. By the end of this episode, they've still got Misa. So the final episode has got to be Sun Vulcan coming in, rescuing Misa, and of course we've got to stop Black Magma. And what's gonna happen? Is Amazon Killer gonna die? What's up with the ghost of Hell Saturn? And what's up with this bizarre god brain in the wall. What even are these things? We're finally just barreling in toward the end. Next episode is the end. We're only going to talk about episode 50, and I'm excited. We're going to move on to the next season. It's coming up real soon. Super excited to talk to you guys about it. I'm going to go get to watching that episode, like, right now. That's gonna do it for this episode of Seeing Sentai. If you're interested in more Seeing Sentai, if you're interested in getting your name in our credits, if you're interested in any other rewards or any personalized reviews, check out patreon.com/MarzGurl. I would love to get to work just for you guys, and I'll be seeing you next episode.
Oh, now she's like cutting a promo to the camera.
Way to go sell that shit.
Like, I'm gonna have to like subtitles down here.
Those games beat you. Have a good match. I'll do the cards for us today. Undefeated, but you know, sometimes the titles just gotta go, man. I'll be honest, the dog did not let go until it heard noise. I think someone's throwing myself. That's the strength.